Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and today we're going to talk about defining success for your transition. This is something that I think a lot of people actually don't do. I don't think I did it. Defining success. So, like with any project, I think a definition of success is really going to help you align your motivations, align your effort, and really start helping you feel like you're making progress to something when you have a definition of what success is. We do this all the time in software. I build and work on software. And when you define what success is for your software, it becomes a lot easier to understand how to measure success and how to get towards that and prioritize as things start to unravel or you have to make concessions on what you can and cannot achieve. And this concept is very applicable to your transition. Now, the thing that's weird with the transition in terms of defining success is your expectations and what you want for success may be different now versus later. And also your realism and the way that you think about what's possible is somewhat hard to define, because I'd say in some aspects you could say some of your goals may be very unrealistic, right? But there are other aspects of your transition that may seem unrealistic now or not even possible that are actually way more possible than you possibly could have imagined. And so defining your success is somewhat of you need to revisit this, you need to kind of think about it at different stages. But I want to talk about this topic because I think it's super important, and we can kind of think about how you're going to be moving through your transition and improving your life. This video is sponsored by me. Check out my book, Trans Kung Fu Self-Awareness, mindfulness practices and therapeutic practices to really help you move through your transition. If you want to support me, check it out. So I think defining success for your transition starts with, where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to be as like financially? Where do you want to be in terms of your career? And where do you want to be as a person who has transitioned? I don't think it takes that long to transition, which sounds crazy because wherever you are, you may think, oh, wow, this is just this huge thing. But it doesn't actually take that long. I'm about 3.5 years in, and I'd say I'm 80%, maybe 90% there. There's some big ticket items like surgeries and stuff, but other than that, I'm pretty good. And where I am now compared to where I was even 2 years ago, I am in a place that's unimaginable to where I was 2 years ago. I didn't really see the possibility of really what was there, and I've been shocked at the results that I've gotten and the experience that I've had. So, let that be a testament to you when you're thinking about your own success, that you can't shoot down your own imagination. Like, allow your imagination to go wild when you think about the future and what's possible. Let that definition of success be a little unrealistic, or let it be beyond realistic. Just know that there are certain aspects that just cannot be changed. For example, my rib cages, I cannot change my rib cage. That is physically impossible. But what I can do is I can change my relationship to my rib cage. I can change the way that I see my rib cage, and also change how I think about body and how I perceive things that are beautiful and aesthetics that are mine and what are aesthetics are women's and all of that. Like, once I anchored my image of what a beautiful female body is to someone more like Cindy Crawford, rather than these Instagram celebrities that have these really teeny waists, huge hips and butts and big busts, like, I can't do that. Like, I'd like to have that because that's hot, but I have to admit that I'm a really tall trans woman. I have a bigger body than a lot of women, and with that, I need to look at other aesthetics of other different women, because women have different body types, and look at someone who is considered to be beautiful that can help me feel a better self-acceptance with my body, because I cannot change that. So that's an expectation that is sort of realistic, but an expectation that I didn't see coming that allowed me to actually go, wow, like, I can't believe that I came this far, is how I look. I started my transition thinking that I didn't know if men would ever date me because I didn't think I would potentially be attractive enough. I didn't know if I'd ever pass. And I didn't know if I'd ever like what I see in the mirror. And there are days where I don't like what I see in the mirror, but having breast surgery and having facial feminization has really helped me get past a lot of the old self that I got stuck behind. And at that time, 3 years back, I was not considering breast surgery. I said I didn't want it. I was not considering FFS. I didn't want it. That wasn't something that I wanted. But I did make the wise decision to invest my money in places so that it could grow later, just for the longevity of my life and supporting myself financially. But ultimately, I used a lot of those funds to pay for my own surgery. So, as you define your success, you also do want to take investments in other areas of your life to support you for getting to your success 3 years from now. Something that will probably help you a lot, and it sounds really weird, is writing in a journal or writing a letter to your future self saying, hey, future self Ashley or future self you, tell me what it's like 3 years from now. Imagine, see if you can tap into your future self and see what information you can get from your future self about the story of where they are, what they're doing. This can give you sudden visions and sudden realizations of things that you may have not consciously thought of, because now you're able to access a part of yourself deeper in your subconscious. And your subconscious knows things like, how did you know that you were trans? How did you know that you should transition? There's something further down, right? There's something deeper within you that calls to this sense of knowing. Where is that? When I ask you right now, where is that deeper knowing within you about your own success and what you want from your transition? Can you tap into that more? Can you write to that part of you? And a great way of doing that is to write to your future self. But also a great way of doing that is to just write to yourself and say, hey, can you tell me a little bit about what you want and where you want to go? What is it that you need? That kind of stuff. I'm getting a call on the phone, so I'm going to have to wrap this up right now. I don't know who this is. It might be my apartment. But thank you for joining me. I'll see you again in another episode soon. Bye. Hello.